Welcome to another episode of Spoiled Anime. I'm Joseph, and with me always is.
Adam, how you doing?
And tonight we're hitting High School of the Dead. So I'm going to toss it to Adam, and then he's going to do his synopsis. We'll say our yays and nays, and then we'll spoil it.
So, High School of the Dead, just real quickly, it's basically modern day Japan high school. Uh, kids are just starts off. Kids are just kind of having a normal day. They're with their drama and whatnot, and suddenly a zombie pandemic kind of hits Japan. Uh, One guy's at it's a gated school, and there's a zombie chilling at the end, and teacher goes up to investigate and gets bit, and then suddenly it spreads to the school, and then they realize it's already throughout the entire town. So that's kind of the gist of what happens, and it's their adventures as they attempt to survive this zombie apocalypse. Yeah.
Yep.
So, I would say this is a definite watch. It's a one that I just kind of honestly, it was one that I had seen on Netflix that like from a few times, and I was like, I don't know, High School Dad sounds kind of cheesy. But then I finally, it's like, I got bored one day, watched it, and the art's really good. Story's actually pretty darn good. Action's good, and I was like, yeah, this was definitely a good one to watch.
Yep. And I had never watched it before, so I watched it for obviously this podcast. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. So, real quick, we both enjoy it. So, if you don't want to hear about what the storyline is, other than that it's zombies and it's a high school, go watch it now and then come back, and we're just going to kind of go into it right here. So, here we go. Um, First off, the first episode shows kind of starts off in the midst of it, and then it kind of jumps back. So, which has Takashi, Rei, and Hayashi. Hayashi.
Yeah, it is her. Yeah, Ray's boyfriend.
Yeah.
Really, his name's pretty inconsequential. He gets whacked right out the gate.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I mean, those three, you kind of get the gist that those three were always friends, but Takashi's always been into Ray, but Ray's always been into the other guy. So, luxury is he gets taken out of the way,
Yeah.
which
Well, they kind of jump back a little bit, and they're like, there was a point where Ray liked him, and he apparently thought, I don't know if he thought girls were icky or whatever, but he didn't return the feelings, and then Hayashi
just
did. So,
just say he's a gigantic idiot.
yeah, he's just an idiot because, you know, if we were in that kind of world, she's pretty hot, pretty
Yeah.
dang hot. So should have jumped on that.
Any of these survivors is a good choice. Personally, I'm a big fan of Seiko, the sword chick.
Yeah,
She's badass.
you
But
know, sword
but it,
wielding chick. You can't go wrong.
yeah, but just once I'd like to live in this one of these universes for a few days. But anyways, the the yeah, they go from there to boyfriend gets bit. Takashi has to step up and smash his face in, and to save the day.
And of
Much
course,
to
she pulls
Ray.
the whole card
You,
of "You
you just
killed
killed
my
him.
boyfriend." Yep.
Nah, he was already dead, girl.
Yeah, he had
So,
already changed, and it's like you don't understand. Apparently, they were best friends, which you don't really have any flashbacks of that. But so he's
I,
like, "I just killed my best friend. Like, give me some
yeah,
slack here."
yeah, and I don't know. So for a little while, she's kind of dead weight. She doesn't really. Oh, I guess she kind of shows her spear skills for a second there, and then she kind of turns to dead weight for a minute, and then remembers that she can use the spear like a badass and helps off again
Yeah, and then continues off.
after she gets over her drama and realizes, oh, well, I got to do this or I'm gonna die. So
Yeah, because it kind of jumps. It jumps between that group, and then it jumps between Seiko and the nurse, and then
and then you also have Saya and Koda. Koda, the nerdy kid who is an extreme badass apparently. So
Yeah,
that's
apparently he trained with the like what I
Delta
got.
Force.
Yeah, exactly. It was like
So he's like,
Delta Force.
I went for a summer and went to America and trained with Delta Force because people just do that, you know. It's cool,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
so now I'm a grandmaster with every weapon. It's kind of ridiculous, but you know, it's a zombie universe. Who's gonna fact check here?
Yeah, exactly.
But he makes his kind of makeshift gun with a nail gun and some stuff to kind of allow him to aim, and suddenly he has a super accurate nail gun, which is awesome.
Yeah, and he's just
He,
putting it into the brains of all these guys
and
or
he's
zombies.
yeah, and he's saving the was she like the young? She's kind of like the young prodigy chick or something, right?
Yeah, she's like a genius,
So,
or
but
so she tells everybody. I don't know.
she's like the smart kid of the school, but bossy as heck. Like, is she like class president or some nonsense?
Probably.
You know, she's the classic. You know, and in the animes, you see that girl's kind of bossy, smart girl, just kind of normally takes control, but it's kind of normally takes control of situations. But in this one, she kind of takes a back burner. She kind of becomes kind of a strategic like her piece in the group is kind of like she's the strategy portion, but not so much on the combat skills
Yeah.
side of the house. Whereas, you know, I mean, main character, he's rolling around with his baseball bat, and he's just kind of your general purpose kick-ass dude. And then you have, uh, Ray, she uses her spear, and so she's good close combat too. And Seiko just owns everything with her katanas and her
And her Boken at the beginning.
her boken at the beginning. Then when she gets a katana, she just like destroys. It was just awesome.
Yeah.
She,
And they
she's
got
like,
Ray, who's got the Lancer kind of mentality.
yeah, and then you have uh, you have Coda, who kind of is like the long range guy. He's your guy with the guns. With the nail gun at first, and then conveniently in the second episode, they roll upon the nurse who rolls with them to her best friend's apartment, who has an ass load of guns.
Yeah, because she's like for special. She's like the special assault team. Like Rika, I think was her name.
Yeah, she's like super SWAT.
Yeah.
She's like, what's it? What is it? Rika is part of the special assault team, special security team. She's just like pretty much the super hardcore chick, but she has conveniently a shotgun, uh, a few pistols, and what does she
Like
have,
a couple sniper rifles or something.
sniper rifles. Does she have an assault rifle too? I can't remember.
Yeah, I
I
think
think
so,
there's
with like
this.
a bayonet or something on it, or
Yeah, and yeah. So with the shotgun, a couple sniper rifles, and
yeah, they're like, this is
and
all illegal. I guess unless you're her, because like they even say they're like, this is all like illegal stuff.
like this. How do they have this? This is illegal stuff. She's like, well, she's part of the, basically she's part of the military. She can have whatever she wants. Like, what?
Yeah.
Is that how that works?
It's like she has a Humvee as well, and like she's
Yeah.
just ready to roll anyway.
She's your prototypical end of the world person who just got separated from all of her end of the world stuff. So if this group of people kind of
Yeah, and
takes over.
the nurse that they have is plays the nurse and driver. Like whenever they just want someone to hit a bunch of zombies with like a Humvee or a van.
Yeah,
Like,
that's kind of her role in the group. She's like nurse, driver, and pretty much. I mean, most of the girls kind of fill this role, but nurse even more so than the others. She's really the fan service character.
yeah,
I mean, all of them are. They all are. I mean, this show is pretty loaded with fan service, but not honestly. To me, it wasn't so bad that I couldn't stand it. I
hmm
mean, when I was, when we were younger, I was all about the fan service shows. I mean, come on, we were teenagers.
yeah, exactly.
But I mean, there came a point when I was like, okay, fan service is great and all, but if the rest of the anime is garbage, uh, then I don't really feel like I can finish. We'll probably get to. There's one I have that I want to review. That I would say would be a pass. That is exactly that. But this one, I mean, aside from episode, was it two? Is it two where they hit they hit the apartment?
Yeah,
So I mean, you have a
two or
pretty
three.
over. It's two or three. Well, when they get to the apartment, it's pretty much an overwhelmingly fan service episode. where all the chicks are bathing each other and all that craziness.
Yeah.
Which is fine. It's fine because it also serves the purpose of them acquiring the assload of guns. So I was
Yeah.
willing to forgive the one episode, and it didn't continue like that. So it was good.
Exactly.
And then they went on to waylay their way through Tokyo.
Well, so okay, essentially, so they go from they get the bus, and then they go and they pick up what's his name. Essentially, plays like the evil character who's
Yeah,
creating his own kind of little
cult. He's like
cult.
the teacher Shido, I think his name. Like Mr. Shido. I
Yeah.
think is that who it was? Yeah. And he just kind of becomes a cult leader, picking up all the young distressed females and males, whoever he can, but mostly it seems like he's all about picking up all these little girls and like, oh, they worship me. I'm gonna do whatever I can to get
Yeah.
this cult going. And
And he's
I was,
just
I was
kind
just I was just
of
waiting for somebody to just put a bullet in his face myself. I was just like,
yeah,
come on, just
exactly.
end this guy. This is zombie apocalypse. I wouldn't. I know how I would be in a zombie apocalypse. I wouldn't stand for a guy like this. I just shoot him.
Exactly. Well,
It's
I
like,
think
okay,
the thing is because we only know a little bit of what like the manga and stuff, but um, because we did I was doing the research for it, but it looks like they're setting him up to be later on. He's going to become something bigger, where they should
yeah,
have just straight out just shot him.
yeah. It's like you're gonna be a problem. I'm gonna put you down right now.
Yeah, because Ray was like the whole time was like, this guy's bad news, and
It almost seems like this guy's a perv. Like he knew he was a perv right off from the gate,
yeah.
and it's like he's probably done stuff to these young girls during school. So that's to me that's what that's what it felt like. Like they kind of just allude to it. They don't ever exactly say what he did.
Well, actually
Did
they
they?
do.
Oh, did
It's
they?
like the second to the last episode.
Okay, yeah.
Um, you find out that his father is like essentially a senator of some sort. He's like some powerful person.
So he just gets away with whatever he wants.
And well, no, what happened was her dad is like I guess the chief. Like he's like the higher up in the police station, and he wouldn't do whatever this guy wanted. So, and because Japan is all about grades at that age, it was to flunk her and hold her back because she's actually one grade behind.
Oh, right, right, right. Okay, now I remember.
So
But yeah,
convoluted plot of why. But that's why she's pissed. Like at the end of it's like really at this
it's
point,
it's
he's
like
a douchebag, but it's like
it's
kind
like
of
you have
let go. You're not gonna have school ever again.
more pressing issues here, lady.
Yeah,
Okay, so
exactly.
I don't know. For that kind of disdain, it seemed to me it felt like there was something more,
There's
like something.
probably is something more, but that is what they that's what she uses, and of course she puts a gun to his head, because
That's a little extreme, I feel.
yeah, for a bad
But
grade. So I'm thinking
you
there's a bit
gave me an
more.
F. Bam.
Yeah, I think there's a bit more than what they're kind of letting on, but that's
That's what we
apparently
got so far.
what
Yeah.
you get that far.
Yeah. Then they get to Saya's family's house. So
Yep.
her
So
rich estate.
yeah, that's where they go first. It's like we're gonna go check on Saya, and that they take the Humvee, and then oh, and then well, obviously we forgot they pick up Alice because her dad, which is
Yeah.
probably one of the most saddest parts of the story. Which you think, oh, whole zombie thing, people dying left and right. But he like goes into this house or goes to this house and's like trying to get inside from the zombies. He's like, "Let me in, like
I'm just
please,"
trying
or
to
just
help my daughter. I'm just trying to help my daughter. Then spear just flies out from this slightly open door and pierces, just like owns this guy.
yeah, right through
And
the heart.
and little girl's just like right underneath it, seeing the whole thing go down. And you're just like, oh, dude, really?
Yeah, and they're just like, "Oh, we're sorry." It's like, "Sorry,
You
sorry"
just
is
killed
like
this dude.
you just straight out killed him.
Help the little girl then at least. Nope.
Nope,
We're
close the
assholes. We're just gonna
door.
shut the door.
It's like, and then of course all the zombies hear the commotion because she starts crying, and
And
so
that's what
they
brings the
surround that house.
and that's what brings the main characters who are just like catty cornered away from it. They can see everything going down from that apartment balcony, and then that's when they bring out the. That's when old boy, well, he rolls over with his motorcycle and Does he have what weapon did he have at that point? Was it a pistol or did he bring a shotgun? I think he brought
I think he brought. Yeah, I don't. The pistol. He brought the pistol. He
yeah,
didn't have the shotgun yet.
he just rolls over with a pistol and motorcycle, plows his way through, picks up the girl. They kind of walk along the wall, right?
Yeah, and then the Humvee comes and they jump on the top of the Humvee.
Then
But I hope those guys that were in that house, even though obviously it's just a story, it doesn't really matter. But I do hope they got eaten because it's just like one bad turd deserves kind of another. But like I like the
that's
one
what.
thing is they were
That's what.
talking. Oh, continue. What were you
Yeah,
gonna say?
it's like that's why on the way out when you're rolling out, you just take that shotgun and blow out the freaking hinges of that door and just be like, "Have a good day." It's
Yeah,
just
have a
like,
nice day.
good
But
luck with that.
but the one thing I did like about it was the fact that they were saying like we shouldn't do it, and he was like, "No, I still have my humanity left," and then he went and got Alice, and then they were all like they all kind of had that moment where like, "Oh, we found our humanity again."
Yeah, it was the moment of yeah, he's right. We can't just leave people to die.
Yeah, and then of course then they go to Saya's, and they get essentially trapped by a wire wall. The Humvee
Hmm.
apparently can't go through it, um, and so
Oh,
all
it
the
was.
zombies come.
Well, it was like Constantino wire and like a barricade, like a wooden barricade. And
Yeah,
granted, and granted, it seems like you would think a Humvee would be able to just plow through that, but actually, it wouldn't.
yeah,
You'd be able to break through, but the Constantino wire and everything would actually gunk up the whole tires and gears and stuff, and
yeah,
it's actually it would be bad. It would.
yeah.
They can't run through it. But
So Takashi and Sayo kind of try to do the distraction, only to be saved by Saya's parents. So they all get saved, and so it's Takashi and Sayo running to essentially go the long way around, and you find out more about Sayo and that she's kind of bloodthirsty.
yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, she played the helpless maiden in the park so that a pedophile or not pedophile, but a pervert would come to try to molest her, and then she beat living hell out of him.
It's like that's the way. That's the way. That's how you play catch a predator.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like it. Like they do this kind of thing where it's like showing her pinned, and she looks all helpless, and then she goes into like the
Like
bloodthirsty look, and
I'm
just
gonna kill you now.
yeah, he's like, whoa.
Yeah, she was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I liked her. Like just like yeah, she can gets that moment where she has to open up a can and take it down. This, it's,
Yeah, that's
that's
essentially what she does.
in that situation. It's somebody you want by your side. Somebody who's essentially a controlled psychopath.
Yep. And so she does that, and then they kind of, and he's like, basically says, "I'll take responsibility for you," uh, you know, and then she gets a sword, she gets a katana, and then
It's
goes
like,
crazy outside.
oh, now I can really own these zombies.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then oh yeah, but before that, when they had that scene when they were trapped by the Constantino wire, I forget how Ray gets like stuck or something crazy.
Yeah, they slide to the side, and she goes like flying.
And then she's like trapped in, at which then Takashi has to jump out and like rest the sniper rifle across her boobs, and just like
Open fire and miss
just open
everything.
fire, causing much jumblies and crazy and stuff. Kind of a cool scene. See that to me like the scene is full enough of action packedness that it's not to me it's not just a fan service moment. It's not just like a girl standing there going and jiggling her boobs.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, the best part of that was Seo's out there kicking butt like usual, and she's dodging the bullets as they're being fired. So you're just like, holy crap! If she was real, she'd be insane.
yeah, she's like this. I mean, honestly, yeah, Seiko's the super beast of the show. I mean, Takashi, does do some badassness. I mean, does kick in general, kick some good ass. I mean, he's kind of wielding the baseball bat, prototypical kind of strong enough guy. Gets by with some good hard work and stuff. And then Ray, she's kind of like the female equivalent. Like she has the spear. She's not super like deadly, but I mean she is. I mean she is in comparison to like an average Joe. But so she kicks ass. But then you have Seiko. She's like this old, like the super killer, and then you have Koda, and he's also a super killer with his guns. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, if he's armed with a gun, you're not stopping this kid. And for some reason, I don't understand how 16-year-old suddenly went for one summer with Delta Force and now is
It's
ultimate
apparently just
badass.
badass.
Yet he still is a fat schlub.
Yep. And then, so essentially, they do make it to Seiya's place,
Hmm.
and her dad is also a badass,
Oh
like,
yeah,
and
dude's
her mom too, of course. So they're getting that relaxing thing, and then everybody's treating them like kids again, because no one's taking to the idea that they essentially came from the school and went through all
everything
these
on
zombies.
own and killed it, buddy. They need to just bitch slap those adults. That's what they needed to do.
Yeah, and then they were trying to take away Koda's guns, which wasn't gonna fly.
Hmm.
And Seiya's obviously pissed off because she thinks they wrote her off. They're like, "Oh, she's obviously dead. We're not even gonna worry about her." Um, and so while this is occurring, um, Shido shows up, and that's when Rei kind of has her confrontation with him, and immediately gets thrown back into the bus and sent away
Hmm.
with his little following. And I think you only get a brief flash from him again, where he's literally putting some guy outside of the bus and letting him get eaten by zombies
Hmm.
because he contradicts him or something. So
Yeah.
that's where you kind of see a little bit more of what he's being set up to be. Um,
Yeah.
and
I mean, it's one of those things. It's definitely one of those situations where you're like, you have the zombies, the literal monsters running around, but in certain ways, this teacher character is more monstrous than them. He's something worse, like something
yeah,
more. Whereas like zombies, you know what they're gonna do. They're gonna come and they're gonna try and eat you. But this guy's like twisted. You don't know what he's gonna do, but he's not gonna do something good. And yeah, I mean, you can tell. Yeah, like you said, you can tell they're setting him up to be something much worse than just the zombies.
exactly. And then of course, then you get, which is probably, which seems like the worst plan ever, which is it goes to America because why not? And our president has launched EMP nukes. Like, they're not even nukes; they're EMPs because and they get launched up, and apparently Japan still has some defenders, and they knock a couple out of the sky, but one gets through and knocks out all of the electronics in the district that they're in. It fries like all the electronics, so they have no more phones, no more no more cars that aren't like
I,
of newer stuff.
I guess apparently our president at the in this anime decided this is our time to get back at for Pearl Harbor. I don't know.
Yeah, it was like it's like I know what'll make things even better. No technology and zombies, and like
Because those crazy Japanese, screw those guys. That's why.
yeah,
It's like what? They have zombies killing everybody. Do we really need to like go pee in their Kool Aid right now?
yeah.
You
Well, it's
know?
like the worst part of it is the Air Force One is being like overtaken by zombies. Like the I guess the Minister of Defense, like 3 seconds before he gets turned into a zombie, goes initiate the plan, blur brains, and like then they shoot him, and he like the president's already bit, and so it just keeps getting passed down to people, and they're just like, I don't
Yeah, it's
know,
like this
remember.
this world has gone to hell.
Yeah, exactly. And like the worst part of it is so like the Japanese guys are all shooting them down, and then they go, "Oh no, there's still one more," and they go to the last ship, and it's just zombie infested, and there's
Yeah.
people screaming, and then that one gets through. It's like, oh,
It's like
even
it's
on a
like
boat, apparently.
I think like kind of the overall scheme there is like when everything is going to hell, like the most sane people are the children, which is like I mean not children, but you know these teenagers, this group of teenagers, in a lot of way are the more sane people out of this whole group. Even you know Seiko, who's like you know this essentially you know killer girl with a katana, but she's still in a lot of way even then she's still more you know more sane than these adults that they come across. This the teacher. I mean, aside from the nurse who's with them,
Yeah.
she's just kind of she's more almost innocent and childlike than even the kids are.
Well, I have to
And
say, Seiya's parents are probably the most
well,
uh,
yeah, they
sane.
they're the yeah they're the ones with trying to keep things under control.
Yeah.
But I mean, like aside from those two, I mean, even those other adults there trying to take away their guns, treating them like children. Like aside from the fact that they prove that they can make their way across this town by themselves,
Yeah.
you know, you have the crazy teacher, you have all this stuff. Like the world's going to hell, but you know these teenagers still find a way to put it together.
Exactly. And
And
actually, the best part about it was the kind of female that was leading it off, like, "Oh, what we only have you to believe that this is actually occurring." You know, who can't apparently look outside of the gates and see that there are zombies.
mm,
Um, like later on, because obviously we're gonna tell him that the zombies come and attack Seiya's like manor and
yeah,
wind up just because of the whole EMP thing, and they wind up being overrun, so they decide to go to the next province.
it's like all right, well let's keep it moving.
Exactly.
Which I mean, you know, in one of those situations, I don't know. There's
But
two. I
she
believe that
tries
there's
to talk to a zombie. Like that was the one thing that I found funny. Is she's like, "Don't do it. We can get you treatment." And of course, it's a zombie, so all I was gonna do is continue to attack her. And she finally just takes a butcher knife and like just you know takes it out. And she's like essentially going insane. Well, she's like, like basically like I warned you, and now I'm taking like this butcher knife, but don't blame me. And then all of these other zombies just attack her and of course kill her. But
yeah. It's very to me. It was like it's very parallel to like another anime that I watched recently. And you Attack on Titan when there's a the their major is trying to talk to the Titans. It's like these things aren't intelligent, or they don't seem to be anyway. Yet everybody else thinks that these things are crazy. But
yeah,
somebody has to be the one to be a little bit off and think like, oh, I can talk to them, I can fix them.
yeah,
Because if you can't, you know, what's the point? Like all these people are gone.
yeah.
That's kind of the, you know,
But
somebody's got to be that guy from I Am Legend trying to find a cure.
yeah, exactly. But anyway, so obviously the zombies overrun, and they decide that, and luckily, luckily the Hummer or the Humvee uh, is completely protected. Like it's barely built. It's been built to withstand EMP, and so obviously it goes on. Like they all pile in it, and they're like, "We're getting the heck out of here."
Well,
And
if I mean, if you look at it like you know, old girl who had the Humvee, if she was super hardcore, it'd be a militarized Humvee. You know, this thing would be be shielded from that kind of stuff. And if it is, they kind of display. I mean, it's not totally accurate to as an up armored Humvee, but I mean, up armored Humvee. I mean, you could roll through people
yeah,
without really. So zombies aren't going to be nothing to an up armored Humvee. You're just going to crush them. Um, so you're mostly like looking at wire and like metal things that can get entangled in your gears in your drivetrain and things like that. That's where you got problems. But like zombies, you're just gonna just mush them.
yeah, and that's what they wind up doing as they make their way out. Um,
Yeah,
as Seiya's parents just prove how freaking awesome they are, and are just like taking down like 20 or 30 zombies by themselves. And then
yeah.
of course it gets to the ending part is essentially not really an ending because they're like, now we should go find Ray's dad. He's gonna be with the police station. They're like, let's go,
hmm
and that's essentially where it ends.
Yep.
But
So overall, very fun, very good.
Yeah,
Kind
and
of really leaves you wanting more. But as you were to find out,
yeah, there's a season 2 that will be coming out not probably mid next year because they're working on the manga right now, but they don't actually work on the manga and the show at the same time. It's manga first, then show. So,
some shows do that, and then that's how you end up with those. Like when you're watching like a really long
filler.
show, say, yeah, you get those filler episodes. Like when you're watching Naruto or you're watching One Piece or something like that. There's certain stories that you just notice are way worse than the rest of the show. It's because those are the filler episodes. Because
Yeah,
they don't
exactly.
have they don't like we're going off book here. We don't have manga to follow, so let's just make some stuff up, and it sucks.
Yep, yeah, it's really bad, and it's yeah, exactly,
Instead of just saying we're going to go on a hiatus, wait for them to finish more of the manga, then animate it, which
exactly.
it sounds like that's what they're
That's
doing
what they're
here.
doing with this. So,
So
um, also we didn't mention it, but I thought it was actually a really cool scene where they go on the motorcycle to get gas, and the guy, like a guy, essentially is like, "Oh, it's a girl. I can do whatever I want because everything's going to hell." And he tries to capture Ray, and Takashi essentially had gotten a gun from some dead officers, and he pretends like, oh, okay, I'm just, like, calm down, she's my sister, everything's cool, and then he like runs up and essentially puts the gun like right to his shoulder and fires, and all the zombies. He kind of pulls a Batman. He's like, I'm not gonna kill you, but I'm not gonna save you either, and then just hops on the bike and drives away. And the guy's like, oh, and gets eaten by zombies. I thought that was a really cool scene.
I like when they have moments like that. Let them kind of, you know, you're a total douche, so I'm just gonna let you kind of reap your own reward. Yeah,
Exactly.
it's like not gonna kill you myself, but I'm gonna let something a lot worse happen to you.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, bye bye. Okay, you're gonna be eaten by the ton of zombies that here, because these ones can't smell or see, but they can apparently, like freaking bat radar. They hear you. They come running, kind of thing, and they will snap
That
their own necks to get you. Like, they are really strong. And
seems to be the common a common zombie kind of story idea. I mean, most of the time they sound is gonna pull them there,
yeah,
and it's not. And yeah, and these ones do seem kind of a little bit abnormally strong. But I mean, but at the same time, the way I've always taken zombies is, it's basically a human with normal human strength, but without the limitations of like most people are a lot stronger than they think they are. It's just as soon as they start to feel pain, they stop.
yeah,
Whereas if
exactly.
you were a zombie, you wouldn't. So you wouldn't feel the pain because you're dead. So I'm gonna use the full range of my strength and grab you and rip you apart.
Exactly.
So.
So I mean, overall, uh, I just it's a really good zombie one.
Mhm.
And there are this is actually one of the few that they have that is of the zombie genre. So I mean,
I don't even think I've seen another zombie
I don't
anime.
think I have either. So
Yeah,
I mean, I think
this was, and it was, yeah, this is the only one I've seen, and it's very well done. And honestly, I think it holds up to most most of the other zombie movies that I've seen or
yep,
stories.
exactly.
It's solid. It's solid story plan, story and characters and.
Yeah, very well drawn. Uh, and we talk about this every once in a while, where it's a very cool opening, or has a really strong opener.
Mhm.
Just the music for it is like, oh, you're getting really pumped about it. And then, yeah, I mean, other than having to wait probably another year, and who knows how long the first one ended, probably a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Um, so kind of seeing the conclusion, that'll be cool. But yeah, so I mean, definitely worth owning. I think I probably will wind up buying it and putting it in my collection.
Hmm.
And then, because I think, or because it's now my choice, I'm actually going to go for a longer one. So you're going to have a kind of a bigger watch this week, which is I want to hit uh, Sword Art Online. I don't know if you've seen
Ooh.
or heard anything about this.
Yeah, they actually just recently started showing them on Adult Swim.
Yeah,
I've
really
actually,
cool.
I've seen the first 8 episodes so far.
Yeah,
And yeah, it's really like I don't know. It's kind of what was the one that Dot Hack was another in-game
yeah,
kind of one, but this one kind of takes it to the next level. Like, okay, it's not just like they're playing a game and they kind of go in and out. It's just you're stuck in this thing, and
yeah,
yeah, we'll get
exactly.
to all that next time.
Exactly. And so, yeah, we will get to that. So I think this is probably where we'll end it. And so we both like this. I know yet another one where we both like it. There will come passes, I promise you. If not, we'll bring in at the second Adam, who wants to be called MacGuffin. I don't know why he doesn't want to be called by his last name. Um,
Why his last name is so much
I
cooler?
know, I know. And he's like, I want to be called MacGuffin. I'm like, really? All right. So we'll bring him in and just let him babble against us because
I'm still gonna
he's
call
got
him
an
McCloud.
opinion. Yeah, yeah,
I'm just
go
gonna call
for
him
it.
McCloud. He's like, I'm McGuffin. And I'll be like, shut up.
I know. I'm like, it's not
What
like
is
we haven't
McGuffin?
thrown
Why,
our
why,
last names out on here.
why would you choose McGuffin when you can be the Highlander?
Exactly. So we'll just call him the Highlander. People will figure it out.
Yeah.
Right, obviously, they'll figure it
Now,
out if they
now,
listen to this
since
one.
since we just outed his last name here.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But
go
yeah, so we'll just bring him and he can babble like he normally does. Apparently, when we get to Evangelion, he wants to come and badmouth it. So
What? Badmouth Ava?
yeah, he doesn't actually
Really?
like it. So I'll
What?
play moderator, and you guys can go about the good and bad of it. So that one will be an
I mean,
entertaining one.
there's some things that are hard to swallow in that. I'll give you that, but that's a fantastic anime. But we'll get to that one then.
Yeah, yeah, I'll bring him on for that one, so that'll be a fun one. All right, so
All right.
anyway, as usual, you can find what we're doing down in the description, and we'll see you on the next one, which is Sword Art Online. And so please, as always, subscribe, and thank you for watching.
Have a good one, guys.